Hi everybody, welcome to day 8 of the 14-day challenge. I hope you've been keeping up. It's been going by pretty quickly for me and hopefully for you as well. Please do try and keep up though, because about a week after this challenge ends, we're going to be emptying all the content and people out of it. We do that for a couple of reasons, but one of them is because you get a Facebook notification every time there's a post, and if you've seen this challenge quite a few times, it gets a little annoying to see that over and over again. So that's one of the reasons why we're just going to empty it all out and keep it nice and clean in here. So we will give you ample notice for that and let you know when that time is up, and we will also give you a chance to stay in it again if you so desire, but we do ask that you physically ask us, or electronically, I guess, because you'll be asking us over Facebook, right? So anyway, let's talk today about the blend of RC, but before I talk about that, I wanted to talk to you about the DewDrop diffuser. Yesterday I called it the Rainstone diffuser in error, which happens, right? So, but it's not the Rainstone. The Rainstone I will talk about later in this challenge. The Rainstone's awesome, but it's not this one. This is the DewDrop. This is one of the most popular ones though that are offered or sold from Young Living right now. It's one of the offerings at the $160 premium starter kit level. The other ones you have to start paying a little bit more for. The Home and the DewDrop though are the ones that most people pick. The Home Drop one we talked about the other day, it has some cool features, including that intermittent 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off setting. This one does not have that. However, this one will hold a little more water and a little more oils and will run a little longer, so that's a really nice feature. It's quieter. Some people don't like all that white noise, and if you like to sleep with the diffuser on, that Home one can be distracting. It was too distracting for me. I was so glad when I was able to switch to a quieter one, because I do diffuse oils every night. This one is much quieter. Like the Home one, it has a very pretty kind of purpley glow. You can't really see it in here because it's daytime and the lights are on. But if you were to take this outside at night, I'm going to try and remember to put a picture up of that later, but it's so pretty. Plus, you take it out at night, and if you're near an outlet, and plug it in, of course. I put purification or RC or even peppermint in it. It will deter some of those things flying around that we don't like so much out there at night. Now, this one will have, when you're using it in your bedroom and you don't want all the noise or light, you can take that and turn the light right off, which is also nice. Click it one more time, the whole thing goes off, and then you start it all over again. So this one is also very sturdy. I get people asking me a lot about whether or not they should get some of those fancier ones. If you have children, busy, active kids in the house, pets, maybe a husband who's clumsy, I would say no, because those are made more to be showpieces, so to speak, but you have to be more careful around them. This one takes a lot. I've heard people talking about cats wandering around it. They'll ask if it's safe, or also if cats knock it over. Cat owners have unanimously, so far that I have heard, say no, the cats don't manage to knock it over. And also, when a cat or a dog goes to your diffuser, they know, they sense already that this is going to help them. If they can't handle that oil, they're going to walk away from it. So just a little tip on that as well. But I myself have dropped my DewDrop several times by accident, and it's still working. I wouldn't recommend that, but just so you know, this one can take a lot. They are warranted for a year under normal use. So another tip for you about all of these Young Living diffusers. So, all right, let's get on to RC. RC is a blend. We talked yesterday about Thieves. Thieves is also a blend. If you were in my classes, when I get to my first blend, I will tell you that up until now we've been talking about singles such as lavender, lemon, and peppermint. But when I get to a blend such as Thieves or RC, I explain that it's the way you can tell is that it's not named after a plant, right? Because there is no plant called RC, or there is no plant called thieves. So that's one way to know you've got a blend. So with blends, there's a lot of oils in there, and you have to shake them up, or you should really shake them up a little bit before you use them. Oils have different viscosity levels, which means some are going to be heavier, some are going to be lighter, so they'll separate out a little bit in your blend. So just give it a little shake, then do what you got to do with it. Another tip with oils is, Smello, I love this RC. Another tip with oils is you want to keep that cap on good, right? A single drop or two of oil evaporates quickly. I know you've seen it. It's just, whew, it's gone. A whole bottle of oil in a one that's not been capped really well will start to evaporate, and you'll be very sad. So keep that cap on there well. Don't over crank it, because you'll crack your lid, and that's not good either. If you have a cracked lid, ask your enroller or sponsor to give you a spare lid. We all have that kind of stuff sitting around. So just get it on there nice, and make sure your reducer's back on there really nice, and you'll be okay. It'll last you as long as you need it to last you. So let's talk about RC. What's in RC? What's in this blend? Well, before I get to those oils, Carrie mentioned that this is the first blend that Gary Young created. Even though I knew that, I always tend to forget that part, but this is the first one that he came up with. Gary Young has been studying essential oils for a very long time, and when he puts one together, it's not just with guessing or even amounts of the oils. He just knows through his years of studying, he knows what to do, he knows what will most benefit, he knows what ratios to put in it, he knows if it needs a small amount of a little bit of a carrier to emulsify it. He's good at making blends, much better than we are. Don't really even try to do it. I mean, if you're out of an oil and you want to recreate it, it'll be okay, but it'll never be what they came up with. It's not even worth the effort. Plus you got the oils, and there's a lot of oils in this blend. You'd have to buy a lot of these singly to try and make an RC if you really, really needed to. So anyway, these are the oils that are in it. 3 different kinds of the eucalyptuses that Young Living has. Eucalyptus globulus, radiata, and citriodora. Now, citriodora is not a single that is currently sold by Young Living. The only way we can get it right now is in RC. But what's cool about citriodora, if you have been reading any of these articles that have been popular lately about lemon eucalyptus and how effective it is, how it's more effective than DEET, that's Eucalyptus citriodora, and it's in our RC. So just a little tip for you there. This thing's more than just a respiratory clearing oil, which, by the way, RC, respiratory clearing. Little hint of what the major use for this oil is. Like oil, all oils, there's more than what meets the eye. What else is in here though? Myrtle, marjoram, pine, lavender, cypress, black spruce, and peppermint. So that's a lot of oils, and if you know anything about some of these oils, you'll know that oils such as myrtle, marjoram, lavender, they're more calming oils. They help you calm down and relax. But the eucalyptuses and the spruce and pine and peppermint, they're more exhilarating oils. This does both. It's going to help open up those sinus passages, stimulate them, but also benefit you so that the rest of your body can relax. That's really important if you're going to be using RC for respiratory clearing, especially at night when you need rest. But even during the day, if you're most people will use this to address those needs. So during the day, whenever, sometimes you just want to relax and lay down, but you want to open up those sinus and lung passages, open up your respiratory system with RC for respiratory clearing. It's not an oil you're probably going to use every day. It's a 5 ml bottle, and its refills are also sold in 5 ml. It's not very expensive. I recommend that in your next order, get yourself a spare bottle of this. It goes in and out of stock quite a bit. It's a popular oil. But if you've got just a teeny tiny little bit, and all of a sudden you're hit with something to your respiratory system, you're going to freak out. I've done it. And you'll be calling your sponsor saying, do you have an extra RC that I can use until my next order? And we love you, so if we have one, we will lend you one, but we don't always because we need it too. So don't be afraid to have an extra bottle of RC sitting around. Little hint for you there. So, okay, another popular use for RC is for snoring, believe it or not. I have personal experience with this. My husband is a big old snorer. Used to be worse. He lost about 40 some pounds, so it's a lot better, but it used to be worse. And I could handle it. I'm used to it, right? I had a little system going, but it was harder on the kids, definitely. We couldn't even share hotels or rooms with them anymore. We had to get a separate room for our kids so they could sleep. So anyway, when I first started oiling, I heard about how Valor could help with that. So I started using that on his big toe. Applied to the big toe seems to be the magic sweet spot, but I also put it on other parts of his feet. If you check out your VitaFlex charts that are in your book or Google it a little bit, you can see all the bodily systems addressed by the bottom of the feet. Getting it on the big toe helps with the pineal gland and the brain and something with rest and sleeping. I don't really know how it works, but it works, right? So it did. It worked. I could get him to snore less and have more restful sleep. But he didn't like it because he told me he could feel his feet. I don't even know what that means. The guy doesn't want to feel his feet apparently when he's sleeping. I don't know, but I had to stop using Valor because he could feel his feet. You know. So, and by the way, Ningxia oiling him. Have you ever heard of that? People talk about how when their husbands or kids are sleeping, they'll just put a little bit of oil on that foot or big toe or whatever while they're sleeping. Yeah, that didn't work on him. He woke up. That was not pretty, so I had to stop doing that. So I, was settled, had to compromise. But when he gets a cold or something with his respiratory system and is trying to sleep, that snoring is so loud, it's like freight trains running through the house. Everybody wakes up. It's horrible. He had that happen before he lost his weight. He started in one night and it was so loud and I knew I was not going to be able to get any sleep at all. And he's already asleep, so I can't even ask him if I can apply this stuff. So I got RC out and I stuck it in the diffuser. And I do something he doesn't care for. I did it that night. I stuck the diffuser on the nightstand right next to him, right next to his head. And I could hear that snoring level go down, down, down. And I got rest, and he stayed sleeping. It was great. I woke up the next morning. He did too. And he says, why is the diffuser next to my head? I said, explain what happened. And this shocked me. He says, can I take it with me on the golf trip I'm going on this week? None of the guys want a room with me because of my snoring. And he took the diffuser and the RC with him on the trip. So, true story that. Anyway, a couple of uses that I've got for you right there. Maybe a little critter control outside, snoring, and also respiratory clearing for RC. So, hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll be back at you tomorrow with another video. Thanks.